Hey, this is Justin. Thank you for downloading and listening to the J&J Talk Show. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen or favor our show on Spotify app or Facebook. You can also listen live on YouTube. Of the J&J Talk Show. I'm Justin. Happy Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. Welcome inside the J&J Talk Show studio. We have a lot of things to go over. We are here for a special 2-hour segment taking you up until high noon Eastern Standard Time. Let's get right down into business. We like to thank some people. Thank some people who's able to make this production studio exactly how it is. So we want to pay thanks and let's thank StreamYard. StreamYard is the studio home for the J&J Talk Show. If you're looking to create your own podcast, YouTube video, or even looking for your own virtual business meetings and videos, StreamYard is the place to go. Head on over to StreamYard.com and start making your dreams a reality. Also, let's thank Placeit. Placeit. Create your mock-ups, logos, videos, and more through Placeit. The J&J Talk Show is proud to be using Placeit to create all their logos and promotional videos. Placeit's by Envato. Head on over to placeit.net for your free trial. Also, let's go ahead and give thanks out to Epidemic Sound. Discover your world-class artists, composers, and bands. Find perfect soundtracks and give your social media accounts the music they deserve. Epidemic Sound is a licensed music and noise effect link. Check out Epidemic Sound for more information. And let's also give a thank out to Stream Elements. With one click of a button, easily create and start selling your merchandise. Through Stream Elements, it is that simple. Stream Elements gives you the perfect of the platform with a handful of objects to sell. Simply upload and create what you want to sell and allow Stream Elements to do the rest. They create the store, they create your merchandise, and they deliver your merchandise and give you your profit. Stream Elements makes merchandise selling that simple. Head on over to streamelements.com for more information. I also like to take this time and thank Canva as well. You'll see here later on in our program, Canva is now part of the creations of the J&J Talk Show, at which we are able to make certain videos and promotional ads as well. So we'll be using a lot of Canva, and we'll start implementing them into our break. So that's all said and done. I'm here in the studio. It's 10 o'clock. We got 2 hours. Here's the thing. All right, hour number one. Where we want to recap, I got Jake with me. Okay, he's waiting here to get in to the conversation. We'll bring him in a moment. I got hour number one. We have Survivor Series match. All right, we're gonna jump right into Charlotte Flair and to Becky Lynch. Okay, we'll go ahead and recap what Survivor Series meant for us, what impacted it, whether it was a good show or not. Hour number two. We're going to get you guys ready for AEW Dynamite. Okay. So AEW Dynamite is tomorrow, a Thanksgiving special to most. And I'm excited. I think they promoted this very well. And I'm excited to see what AEW Dynamite has to offer tomorrow. So listen. Grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, get cozy. If you're at home and you're streaming YouTube, join us up on YouTube at the J&J Talk Show. While you're there, please hit that like, share, subscribe button as well. Also, listen, it's not just for me and you to listen to. Head on over, tell your friends about it. I mean, let us know. I mean, it starts off with you finding our channel, you liking or not liking our product. letting us know about it, and then tell people about it. That's the key, most key important thing right here that we do for our channel. Also, and listen, if you're out at work, if you are out at the gym, if you're driving in the car and you still want to listen to us, head on over to Spotify. Spotify is a free app. Check out the J&J Talk Show on Spotify, and give us a listen. There's no reason why you cannot listen to each and every episode of the J&J Talk Show. With that being said, also, if you want to check us out and you want to reach out to us, talk to us, engage in conversation, let's check out our Facebook page, JJ Talk Show. Let's check out our Instagram page, our Twitter page. We also post up on TikTok. Hey, listen, I know for me, okay, it's already hard enough to promote or to make these videos. I'm not a camera person. Matter of fact, I think I've gone through 3 cameras because I think I break them every time. But you know, they tell me, Trey and Jake tells me, hey, let's get out there more. So I've been making TikTok videos. I don't know if I'm good at it, but I've been trying to make them. So there's ways to reach out to us. If you want conversation, you want to tell us about how we're doing or suggestions on how we can make our show better, perfect time to start telling us, hey, it's Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for? We're talking about Thanksgiving this Thursday. I want to go ahead and promote and announce that we will be doing a show from 10 a.m. to noon on Thanksgiving morning. Okay, everyone's invited to join in. I know I got Trey, is going to be here. Maybe a possibility Jake will turn out, but we're just going to have a great time regardless. We'll talk some professional wrestling. Well, there's some things that we're going to get on the show today that we're not going to get on the show, that we're also going to get on the show on Thursday because Trey wants to weigh in on some of these things. So we got an impactful show for you today. Hey, if you want to tune us in on Thanksgiving, we invite you over. 2 hours and nothing but fun. Maybe it's stupid, maybe it's chaotic, but it's fun. Okay. All right. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's bring in our guests. He's a good friend of Trey's and now became a good friend of mine. Let's bring in Jake. Jake, good morning. How was your
Good morning.
travels?
It was very rough. I mean, it was really cold, raining the whole time here. But hey, I'm thankful to be able to make it. And Kentucky's beautiful, man. It is very, very beautiful. And just glad to get a chance to be here on a beautiful Tuesday. Good morning to everyone. Hoping everyone's having a great day.
Yeah, I when I moved out here for the first time because I've only lived in northern Kentucky. I When
Yeah,
I moved out here 2 years ago, and I drove through from Nashville or from Tennessee up through the Kentucky state. I never really got a chance to stop and see. All the highways were filled with nothing but trees and forage. Um, and so I really haven't gotten a chance to experience a whole lot of Kentucky, something that I'm planning to hopefully do in the near future.
yeah.
But yeah, you're hopefully your trip is doing well. We thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
for being here. I know you're on vacation, but taking some time out of your day to join me in here, and I'm ready to talk some wrestling with you. Normally Tuesdays are all about sports and about football and baseball. And maybe if there's time, we may cover, I don't know how you thought about Monday Night Football. Listen, your Pittsburgh Steelers lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did
It's like,
that happen?
um, I was watching the game on the way up here thanks to Yahoo Sports. And the thing is we didn't have offensive line. Like we were struggling the first 3 quarters, then somehow we managed to get back into the fourth quarter, and then the last 2 minutes where we needed our team, but yet our offensive line was not there and pretty much costed us the game. But I mean, at least we got a loss. It wasn't no tie this time, so I mean, it is what it is. I knew that it was going to be a tough team against LA, especially with Bosa being back and Herbert been playing the way he is. Man, and it was a strong one, but we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, you was very disappointed in the Steelers. I mean, I know that the Chargers are a decent team this year. Okay,
Oh yeah.
but when you look at the Chargers being at home and playing against teams. I mean, they lost against Minnesota, they lost Cowboys, they lost against the Patriots, and
Yeah.
then I was really confident that that the Steelers could come into Sunday Night Football and pick up a victory. It was a well needed victory if they could have won, but they didn't win. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I heard that there was also a lot of officiating issues.
Yeah. More of those again. I don't know what's going on with the officiating this year, but it has been terrible. It's not just with Pittsburgh; it's been with every other team. So I can say the officiating has not been the very best in 2021.
Oh, I can agree with that. I think it seems like every week some sort of officiated team has made news lines, and that's the
Yeah.
reason why a team didn't win or didn't lose or something like that. So we don't. I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna fix that or how you would fix that. Send them back down to school. I mean, from my understanding, once you get up to the professional league, then there's no turning back unless you're getting fired. You're not going to go back down to school or training. You're just going to stay in, wherever you're at, and hopefully you could be, just get better at it. But I guess at which point does the referees or the officials are held accountable. And here's the other thing too, because even they're held accountable, or they come out and they agree with it, or they say, "Oh, yeah, man, that's my fault. We called that crappy game," But there's no, we didn't really. I mean, there's no punishment. There's like, okay, you're not going to get slapped with a $500 fine because you couldn't make the proper call. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I mean, maybe there is. I haven't seen anything. Um, stating about that, but the officials maybe should start being held more responsible just as much as the players. But listen, we got Survivor Series. Well, I want to bring this up with you here.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch Survivor Series once you hit your destination?
Yeah, so once when I got here, I did get a chance to take a little peek at Survivor Series. I told myself I wouldn't, but I'm like, this is something I definitely do need to check out, especially with the whole situation between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. And obviously, you got the big main event, Roman against Big E. So I was like, okay, if I caught a little bit of a glimpse, I saw highlights of the Charlotte and Becky match, but I watched the rest of the show, and I can't wait to just talk about the show with you. It was a roller coaster of a show, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, so I wanted to talk to you about this, and I'm not really not going to get much into it because I think it's stupid. But WWE has lost another potential great storyline. Vince McMahon shows up, and this is a rarity here. We don't normally see Vince McMahon appear and show up onto any pay-per-views, especially as of late. But he makes an
Hmm.
appearance, and only to assume. We come out to discover that this is the promotion to the that I don't know, that movie that The Rock made, Red Nature, something like that.
Someone said, yeah, with I think it was
But
with Ryan Reynolds in it, I believe.
uh, right, so this was the pretty much the entire pay-per-view was to promote this this match or this movie, and Vince McMahon brings in what he claims is the original egg of Cleopatra, and he goes in, he comes in. First of all, he arrives to the arena, and there's a whole bunch of athletes just standing around his limo, applauding for whatever reason. And then he brings out this egg out of the limo, and it's like for me one of the worst. Like it's completely fake and BS, and I'd rather see Vince McMahon holding this little equipment or box with it covered, and
Yeah.
then wrestlers coming up to him, welcoming him back,
Hmm.
instead of just people hovering around him clapping. I mean, they look like a bunch of children worshiping their king, or begging for bread. But anyways, this story goes on, and he goes on. He invites Roman Reigns in. He introduces this egg. This is worth $100 million. Roman Reigns makes a statement with the egg being this should be part of my paycheck or whatnot. And then next you find out when when Vince brings in Sonya Deville and Adam Pierce, that
Hmm.
the egg was gone missing, and he was kind of upset about that. He was like, "Listen, if you can't find it tonight, then everyone, both Raw and SmackDown, needs to be on." Raw tomorrow night, and we're gonna find it. We're gonna get down to the bottom of it. Well, they go into Raw. Okay, they kind of go throughout the segment, and then it comes out to finds out that Sami Zayn knows who took it, and apparently he brings it back to him and says that Austin Theory took it. Well, Vince McMahon said, "Hey, listen, whoever finds this title or this egg, sorry, uh, will get themselves a title match against Big E." And Sami Zayn finds it. Instead of a title match against Big E, he gets a title match against Damian Priest, and then Adam Theory, who was Sami Zayn, said that was who took it, got a match against Big E. As soon as that hit, that was just kind of the most stupidest thing I could ever tell you about about that quick storyline. I get it. You're
Yeah.
promoting the movie. I understand that. But
Hmm.
I know that everyone wanted to see The Rock last night or back on Sunday, which didn't happen.
Hmm.
Everyone had rumors because there's rumors about Brock Lesnar that with not being his permanent, indefinite suspension. So we thought maybe Brock Lesnar could have taken it.
Hmm.
Perfect storyline here. Brock Lesnar takes it right and says and comes out in a few weeks and says, "Listen, you I want Roman Reigns for this egg at Royal Rumble." I mean, you're about to start up there the feud, or you bring in Roman Reigns talked about his paycheck. Maybe he's the one who took it because ultimately, and then that could potentially bring back The Rock.
Yeah.
So there's multiple ways you could play this gimmick in the storyline, and then to use Sami Zayn, which I don't see relevant enough, to the reason why he would take it, or find out who would, and then as well as Austin Theory. I mean, what it doesn't make any sense with Austin Theory.
I mean, I feel like with Austin Theory, this is kind of like a little bit rushed for him to be able to get a title shot. I mean, we mentioned it. It's been a month since he got drafted to Raw, and he went to the Survivor Series team, did a great job, might I add, and then all of a sudden the next day he gets a title shot because of this egg. No offense to him, but I feel like that was way too early for him to get a to get any sort of title shots. I feel like he could have feuded with someone that could have been great, maybe go for a mid card championship, but not for the WWE title. I feel like that was really
Right.
random. And like you mentioned before, Sami Zayn, you had Sami Zayn being a part of this whole thing. It didn't sit. It didn't suit well for me. I wasn't a fan of it.
Right. Well, I mean, and then that's the thing right now. You haven't built, and I think that's the key element for me. When you have, I mean, it's a great opportunity for Austin Theory.
Yeah,
He had a great experience in this match, but for me, it's all about building or an athlete. And this, he spent his first few weeks down competing against Dominic and Rey Mysterio, and
hmm,
and some younger guys, and then he gets thrown in right into the big dog, and obviously, it showed because Big E won. Um, but I mean, I feel like this whole 48 hours or 24 hours of this egg storyline could have been used to potential, but
I
it's been a
agree.
big
Yeah.
slap in the face, a big slap in the face.
I'm just glad that the women's division wasn't a part of this, and it was just more of the guys taking care of all of this because it would have made things worse. No offense
No,
to
no, no,
like,
no. Well, no, 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 no. Here's the thing: you had the entire locker room taking part of this. Okay, there's no both the women, Rhea, whoever Ripley, okay, and Nikki Ash. The entire women's division was also around. I think even the Zelina Vega and Carmella was looking for it. You had Kevin Owens looking for it. So everyone was looking for this egg. It was
you
just a
know,
bad storyline, though.
bad story, bad timing, in my opinion. It was just pointless.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you in that case. Well, listen, we got 2 hours here. We got coming up next. Okay, I know you're ready to get into it, but I want to talk about Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. I feel like like that's the only right thing to do. Happy Tuesday morning, everybody. Hopefully, wherever you guys are listening on, you guys are enjoying this episode. Like I said, hit that like, share, subscribe button, and let us know down in the comments. Why don't you join us? Get in part of this fun. We'll read every comment here. A lot more coming up to you right here on the J&J Talk Show.
Mind like you need more time. You've already spent most of mine. Even when your words fail, you try to keep it light. You realize I'm done.
Welcome back here on the J&J Talk Show. November 23rd, 2021.
About damn time you get it right. I'm up all night. You keep pretending that you'll keep fighting.
Man, I tell you that. Well, Jake, what about that music, that little commercial break we had there? That was by Canva. I discovered Canva 2 nights ago, and I'm like, listen, we got to figure something out because obviously we can't play ads from WWE because we'll get flagged for it. We can't play. I don't think you guys are enjoying the. It's too much work with the whole video production, and the music, and then the pop up ads. So I found Canva last night. We're back on Sunday, and I'm like, okay, let me give this a try. And I tried it, and I'm like, dude, This is amazing. It gives you a countdown of how long our breaks are. And so right now it's 3-minute breaks. We may, if I have time to get back into things, get things going and get more videos made, but I could put our ads up there. I
Yeah.
could put, our logo, Happy Holidays down below.
Oh yeah.
And then that timer, and then you get some music to play with it, while you guys are waiting for us.
Yeah, and
So I like
I
it.
feel like that's a really great thing for us to do, especially when it comes to like situations like that, because you mentioned it, but can't have any WWE stuff due to copyright. So I feel like that was like a really interesting well to handle with breaks. So I'm glad everyone got to see it. It's a really cool thing.
Yeah, so I'm working on it still. It's only the one song. It's 3-minute breaks, so we will have 3-minute breaks. But I'm, it gives it, listen, our breaks are designed just to give us some chances to regroup our thought process, grab a drink if we got to run and go use the bathroom really fast. Whatever the case is, it's also
Mhm.
designed to change our segments. So I think everyone could clarify and understand that here. But all right, let's get right into it because we got Becky Lynch and we got Charlotte Flair. Now let's be honest here. I'll bring Jake
Mhm.
back in a minute because I know he wants to weigh his opinions here. But it was the opening match, and I'll tell you that this is what I'll tell you. Okay, I think Bully Ray says this the best. If you're not the main event, you are opening up the show. Because I don't want to take credit to it because Bully says this all the time. If you're the two most important matches of the show is the main event and is the opening match. And if you're not in the main event, you need to be on the opening match. The same reason why Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins a couple years ago at WrestleMania had themselves on the opening match because you set the tone. You set the tone wherever you are on how the product's going to be run, just like a concert. If you ever been to a rock concert, is the first song that they perform tells you exactly how the show's going to go, and it gets you all excited, all ramped up. It's just as important as the final song of the show. Can you agree
Yeah.
with that with me, Jake?
Oh yeah, instantly. I mean, you definitely made a good example as far as like the rock shows. I mean, I've been to like a couple of rock concerts in my life, and yeah, it's always that first song that gives you a feel of how the show is going to be throughout the whole time. And it's just like with any other promotion, you got to start off with a strong match to start your show,
Mhm.
and then you got to end things off with a big ending in the main event. So everyone questioned why did this match had to start first. Well, I'll tell you why, because I feel like
I,
WWE. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
no. You go ahead. You got this. Let,
Um,
let me know.
uh,
Why did
I
they
would
have to
say
start this first?
I was gonna say, I feel like because you know what, it's rare to see WWE start their shows with something huge as this. I was completely surprised that they even started off with this match because this was like a semi main event or maybe a main event caliber match. I figured that they would just go ahead and just have you know what, maybe them at the semi match. I figured they would start
Mhm.
off with like, hey, Survivor Series. Let's go ahead and start off with a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 tag team match. But instead, they wanted to start off big, and I really liked that they did that because it was something that we talked about this past Saturday. And if you guys haven't checked out, make sure you guys do. But it was something that we was all really concerned about, myself, you, and Trey, of how this match was going to go. And this was something I feel like WWE needed to do. Now let's talk about the
Well,
match. I want to go ahead. Go
uh,
ahead.
I mean, before we talk about the match, well, I mean, you could
Mhm.
tell me it was a physical match, right? But there
Oh,
was a
instantly,
lot of
yeah.
reasons. There was a lot of reasons on why this match started off at the beginning, and it's
Mhm.
strictly, I believe, it is strictly promotional purposes
Yeah.
because you have if you put Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair before,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
This match was the best match of the night.
Oh,
Hands down. There,
hands down.
I mean, Big E and Roman Reigns came close, but there was I mean, out of storylines, out of all the hype for the match, this was the number one match for the night. So when I say this, you put it before Roman. If you put it before Roman Reigns and Big E, you give yourself, you lose that opportunity because it's like, for example, when Undertaker and Mankind did the Burial Alive match.
Mhm.
Oh, you know what? Let's back up. When Mankind and the Undertaker did the Hell in a Cell match, that was an epic match. You know what sucked the most after that was that there was still a show to still happen.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so it's like,
Yeah.
because I believe Stone Cold and Kane went on afterwards. It's like, how do you beat that? So if you have a match as big and as over that actually succeeded as well as Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, how does Roman Reigns? You don't want your main event to deal with and having to overcome and top that talent. So that's reason number one. Reason number two, we talk about how personal this feud is, what's real and what's not real with this feud. If
Mhm.
you put this match as the main event, which I know it was a main event worthy match, but if you
Mhm.
put the match at the main event, WWE takes the ending result out of their hands. And if you think about it, WWE wants control at the end of the show. It doesn't matter. All the chaos could happen throughout the show. But if
Yeah.
you put them at the end and Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch decides to do something that they don't like, because their feud was so intensified that they decided to take actions into their own hands, then
Mhm.
you ruin the ending to your show. And so by booking Roman Reigns and Big E to the main event, you control your ending, and then you put them up at the beginning and let them have at it. And listen, Charlotte Flair in a phenomenal shape. Becky Lynch. Listen, Charlotte Flair looked amazing on Sunday.
Oh, hands down.
And
She
not
looks
only
incredible.
that, Becky Lynch, being after giving birth a year ago, she looked phenomenal in the ring. And it was a physical match, so much so, like I couldn't tell you what was fake and what was real. And they started off the match the way two fights should have started off. They just went at each other. Head to head. I loved it. It was a great match by me. What, 25 minutes, 30 minutes of nonstop action.
Yeah.
Before you get
Yeah.
into the match part, what were your thoughts on opening the show with that video?
I really liked it. I really liked the video, and plus, I mean, it was like a great way to get to feel how the show was going to be. And I feel like, it sets a tone. It sets a tone for the pay per view. It sets itself for the whole entire night, if you think about it. And it was really, really
Like, well,
interesting too.
one thing I
But
will say on the video part is that if you were not a WWE fan, if you never watched WWE before, and maybe you tuned into Raw last week, and you're
mhm,
like, listen, we're gonna watch Survivor Series. Everything went in synchronized order
mhm.
to tell you the story of a decade worth friendship. And
Yeah.
it was so perfect because if you were not a WWE fan, you got caught up in that 5 minutes just like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you know the history when it comes to Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and
Oh, I'm
I've
aware.
seen I've seen the history whenever they first started. I think they was on the tag team with Paige, I believe, at the time. Whenever they started the Women's Revolution, and so hands down, no matter what type of match it was going to be, these two were going to give the best. Especially when Becky first turned heel a couple of years ago, these two had a classic from their match at Evolution, from the time that they faced each other at WrestleMania with Ronda Rousey. I knew that they was going to put their difference towards the side and give a match that was worth watching. And this was hands down one of the best women's matches I've seen throughout this year. One of the best.
Right. I mean, the last time I saw a really good women's match, honestly, was Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks inside Hell in a Cell.
Me being this is one outside of WWE though, it was
Well,
Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa.
yeah. You're about Thunder Rosa, by the way. I'm going to give some shout out to Busted Open Podcast because I heard this yesterday on their episode. And apparently, in Texas last Saturday, Thunder Rosa and David LaGreca had a match. And they've been having this on the radio feud for the last several months. They finally get inside the ring, and I hear it through David or Mark. I guess Mark Henry was there, and he told the story. and the match went okay. Um, LaGreca hit Thunder Rosa with the lid of this, of the trash can, and he went through a big pile of beer cans. Uh, but at the end of the day, this rivalry now they're best friends, at least according to David LaGreca. I love
Yeah.
that. That was I feel like it was just worth enough to mention because I love
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa
Yeah.
too. She's a great athlete.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, listen, 25 minutes, they really set themselves up to the next level. Here was my issue that I was running into this here. Um, when you think of how big, we know Charlotte Flair was a heel going into this match. Becky Lynch was a babyface. And mine was like, no one wants to boo Becky Lynch. So
Hmm.
why in the world does she come out Monday Night Raw and fucking and I hate to use these profanity languages, but she now tells the fans, "Oh, we don't need you. I could have done this without you. I'm the best there was, and I showed it last night."
Yeah.
I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. No one wants to see Becky Lynch as a heel. No one's booing her. I mean, it feels
Hmm.
like the WWE has to implement crowd noises just to boo her, and
I mean, the
I
way I
don't
feel about it is like it's Becky Lynch. It's Becky Lynch. No matter how much you want to hate her, you can't help but love the fact that this woman has done so much. From being a mom to now being the champion, and
Well,
it's
I mean,
difficult. It's
here's what
difficult.
sets it
It's really
off.
difficult.
Here's what
Go
sets
ahead.
it off. Last on Sunday, when she was interviewed, she started crying. What heel cries in front of on the camera? Charlotte Flair didn't cry. Matter of fact, Charlotte Flair came out to social media and said, "Hey, listen, I'm still champion, and so she beat me. Whatever." And by the
Hmm.
way, if I'm a Charlotte Flair, this is how the next feud starts with them.
Yeah.
Well, you cheated, so you can't beat because the ending of the match, Becky Lynch rolled up. So Charlotte Flair tried to roll up, used the rope, got caught. They reversed it. So Becky Lynch rolled up Charlotte, and she used the rope and didn't get caught. So
Hmm.
listen, right now, although you won the match, you can't beat me clean. So
Yeah.
maybe that's the way that Charlotte Flair should have came out.
I agree, but as a standpoint of view, is like this is the way I see it. No matter how much you try to make Becky a babyface, she has to be the heel, and both of them were heels in this match. I mean, it doesn't matter which one was the babyface; they were both heels. So I mean, the fact that there was a heel tactic to end this match,
Right.
I mean, I knew like some sort of heel tactic was going to happen. So this didn't really surprise me at all. I hate the finish though; it could have been ended a lot better, but at the same time, it was
I
understandable from that time being.
I think this finish set up for a later match, maybe at WrestleMania. I think that's what maybe it could possibly set up to. I'm just saying that you have the two top tiers. You face a
Mhm.
Raw, face a SmackDown, and they're at the top of their games, and they're both heel, and that just
Yeah.
can't happen. You got it's like Raw, right? Raw and SmackDown, Big E and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns heel, Big E's babyface. You got
Yeah.
to establish that babyface factor. No one wants to see Becky Lynch as a heel, and yet again, she's still coming out here. At least she didn't come out here with the sunglasses and the fur coat.
At least, I mean, the way I see it, when we seen Becky's entrance, she was walking with a purpose. It said, "Hey, I'm going to take on my rival." It was like you could just tell by the expression on her face. It says, "Hey, I got business, and I'm going to take care of
Right.
it. I'm going to handle this in my own way."
Right. Yeah, I'm. You know what? It was a great match, though. Overall, I thought it was a great opening match. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think it distracted me for what happened because I mean, really, realistically, besides Roman and Big E,
Mhm.
nothing. There was some entertaining moments, but nothing really got into it. Nothing really else attracted me in what was going on in the you know throughout the show. So, it was overall final great match.
I mean, honestly, I mean, the way I see it is, though, Survivor Series is supposed to be, you know, about brand supremacy, and pretty much it was just Raw that took over, except for the main event, which Raw did an incredible job. I mean, I will say this though. And yeah, even though the Survivor Series matches weren't as entertaining like they used to be, I mean, they still had a great performance. I mean, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about one individual, Austin Theory. He had a great performance, but Seth Rollins made history by becoming the sole survivor, first time in his career, added to his highlights of everything he's done for WWE.
Talking about history, we got a lot more history to talk about because coming up next we will finish recapping Survivor Series. Also, what happened on Sunday? I know I talked about this a little bit. I'm disappointed it didn't happen on Monday, but we'll get into that next. You're listening to the J&J Talk Show. Survivor Series back on Sunday wasn't a terrible match, or wasn't a terrible show. I mean, I
No,
actually enjoyed the show, but so Nakamura and Damian Priest kicked off in the kickoff show. I wasn't really too big into it. So I guess I want to ask you a quick question here, and I'm going to actually just go down right in order. We'll cover everything that you want to cover on Survivor Series, but let me ask you this: Damian Priest, um, ended up disqualifying himself because he ended up attacking Rick Boog and Shinsuke Nakamura with the electric guitar. Is Damian Priest turning heel? Because now you got two baby faces in Big E and Damian Priest on Raw. Is that a potential heel turn?
easily, yeah, because I feel like a heel turn is what Damian Priest needs right now in his point of career. He was a heel back in NXT before he became a face in the main roster. I feel like his
Mm.
time being a face is done. I feel like a new, fresh heel Damian Priest would suit him for his career.
Sorry, I was muted there. I had a cough. So yeah, I'm thinking. Plus, his character kind of fits a heel persona a little bit. It's better than a
It
big
does.
heel turn. All right. We also had Team Raw. Jeff Hardy. Uh, Team Raw after Seth Rollins pinning Jeff Hardy. You saw Kevin Owens walked out. Which you always, I mean, is that just doesn't even come to a surprise anymore because each and every year one person decides to walk out on their team. But then you had Corbin. Corbin and Woods wasn't even in the match for that very long. It kind of got stale after a while. Um, where I think let's be honest. The last time I really was invested into a Survivor Series 5-on-5 was when NXT was involved.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while before NXT became NXT 2.0 is that they need to start bringing back NXT because it made things very, very interesting. You look at the format, you had not only Raw, SmackDown, but you also had a group of guys in NXT. I mean, look at
Right.
I think what was it, 2019, where Keith Lee took on Roman Reigns, and that's what made Keith Lee a huge star at the time, facing the big dog Roman Reigns. I mean, I wish but if they didn't have 2.0, we could have seen a lot new fresh faces and WWE with the NXT talent at the time.
Well, I got 2 points there. One, with all the releases that the WWE has been going through the last couple of months, yeah, you kind of want let's impact this show as much as
Yeah.
possible. And two, if you think about it, I mean, you mentioned this last segment, brand supremacy. Um, at what point? I mean, what was the point? There's no point in this in Monday's show. There was no brand supremacy. Raw ends up winning 5-2 overall, but no one highlighted that in the in their in their works. So
hmm
I mean, for me, it's like well, I mean, you did very little to poor promotion back throughout the weeks of WWE leading up to Survivor Series, and this is what you get out of it. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. It's just there was. I guess one thing that also lacked in this, I could say the same thing for women's 5-on-5, um,
hmm
which you had Bianca Belair take on four women. It was down 4-1. She overcame that factor,
hmm
and won the team. Won it for Team Raw. But here's one thing that I come out of Survivor Series. There was no, they didn't organize the matches, the 5-on-5 matches to fit any storylines or potential storylines.
I feel like with Survivor Series, it's just my opinion. Before they started doing this whole brand supremacy for Survivor Series, if you remember at the time, there would always be like a group of good guys representing both Raw and SmackDown against a group of bad guys against from both Raw and SmackDown, and then there was all then it they didn't really care for brand supremacy at the time because they still had the title matches. They still had the women's matches. It wasn't like the way it was today. I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm hoping I'm not the only one that feels this way. I feel like Survivor Series is disguised as 2010's bragging rights because that's what it typically
Mhm.
feels like now. It's just simply Survivor Series / bragging rights. That's all it feels like in this point in time.
Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely. I mean, it's. I mean, I just feel like, especially this year, and I understand last year, but especially this year, they have downgraded. Like when they first brand splitted everything again, that was fine. But hopefully, I don't know. We'll see what happens next coming up. We have to see in the future because I mean, Survivor Series, one of four great pay per views that WWE has that they're never going to get rid of. Um,
hmm
and I'd rather just have them focus on those four than to have a pay per view each and every month. As much as I enjoy watching, a main Money in the Bank or an Extreme Rules or a, you know, I mean, I know you got to have Saudi Arabia now, but I just prefer you focusing on making these four pay per views the biggest and best or baddest, the best show you could possibly make it, on a pay per view.
Yeah.
Compared to just trying to put out content each and every month. Um, Okay, so Omos, there was the 25-man battle royal who was supposed to be an honorary of the Rock.
Mhm.
At which point, yeah, they were, and throughout the match, they were promoting Red Notice. So here's the thing: Omos wins, eliminates 12 people, 13 if you want to include AJ. Um, and it was supposed to be in honoring of the Rock's 25th anniversary. There was no big promotion except for the Pizza Hut. And I was like, and if you think about brand supremacy, Sami Zayn, it was, I think at one point of the match, there was like it was like six or seven Raws versus three SmackDown, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and one other person. And they end up eliminating Sami Zayn. And he was the only one. He was like, hey, let's team up and let's get on the same page. Poor Sammy. He's trying to
Sammy
get a
just can't
break
get a
here.
break.
He
He
can't
can't
get
get
a
a break.
break. Here's what I want to say really fast. Listen, I'm going to, and I quote, because I don't want to take this. Pizza Hut orders made, this is the promotion for Survivor Series. Pizza Hut's order made by a Cricket wireless phone in the middle of watching Red Notice after betting on matches during DraftKings, also NFTs or whatever.
Huh? What? Hold on. Did
Let
my
me
ears just
repeat that
deceive me?
again. All the promotions wrapping up in one here, because here's the thing. Pizza Hut order. You're ordering pizza made by through Cricket Wireless. So you're ordering Pizza Hut through a Cricket Wireless phone plan, right? While you're watching Red Notice, after betting on matches on with DraftKings. Don't forget the NFTs.
Real quick, if you're
I had
listening
to
to this,
throw that out there.
for anyone listening to this on Spotify, I'm just confused as you are. So yeah, you're not the only one.
What I'm trying to say is that they promoted Pizza Hut, they promoted Cricket Wireless, they promoted Red Notice, they promoted DraftKings, they
Yeah,
promoted also the NFTs. I'm like they did more promotion than matches.
that's that. I don't know why. This is a weird thing for me. I always thought about like DraftKings would be like football, basketball, UFC, but for
Well, you do,
WWE,
yeah. They promote it huge with WWE, like the main event. Who's gonna win? Big E, Roman Reigns.
I mean,
Enter
like I
now.
mean,
Enter promo code WWE. Get a chance to win $25,000.
the thing is though that I'm used to WWE advertising Hulu because like, that was like their big thing at the time was make sure you get Hulu, check out your Raw, SmackDown, and
Well,
NXT.
now they're
You
doing
know,
that on Cricket Wireless.
I don't know. I feel like instead of just putting matches in our faces, it's like, wait, before you get to this match is sponsored by either Cricket Wireless or Pizza Hut, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm eating wings, so yet I'm not
Right.
ordering Pizza Hut, so I'm good right
Maybe you're
now.
eating wings through Pizza Hut
No. For me, it's got to be homemade wings or wings bought at the store easily.
or what Buffalo Wild Wings. Maybe. I mean, I love a good Buffalo Wild Wings.
Don't get me hungry now. Don't get me hungry now.
Mm. Listen. I go pick up my ribs tomorrow. I'll be putting that on Facebook and social media. Oh gosh, now I'm starving.
I mean, thankfully, I'm in Kentucky with my grandma, and she's been taking care of me. So yeah, I got some homemade grandma cooking,
Oh,
and I'm
grandmother
loving it.
cooking. I need to
Oh
come
yeah.
over. I think I'm only an hour away. I'll be down there. You
I
guys send
mean,
me some
hey,
grub up.
I mean,
That's the
hey,
best kind of cooking.
exactly. And the moment I
Mm.
got here,
Mm-mm.
it's like she had food waiting on me. I was like, thank you,
You
thank
will
you, thank you.
you will go back. You will go back home weighing 50 pounds more.
Hey, I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that.
I'm okay with that too. It gives you something. Hey, it's wintertime. Stock up, and then you got to lose all that weight before summertime. Here's one thing I want to talk about, though. I thought it was just funny.
Yeah.
I love our truth. He during the match, during the battle royal, he goes down, grabs a Pizza Hut pizza, and tries to feed it to Omos, and then he turns around and gives it to Otis, and then gets eliminated. And then you run into Raw, and they're all searching for the egg, and he runs into the woman's locker room changing, He's such. I love how much has he. I mean, he hasn't done a tremendous amount in the company when it comes down to in ring ability,
Hmm.
but his rapping, his comedian side, comedian side of things. He's such a funny guy to watch, and one of the few peoples I enjoy still on this roster.
I can honestly say if I had to pick like my favorite R-Truth moment, it was Royal Rumble 2016, and he actually went out, he grabbed a ladder, and he actually climbed up to the top of the ladder and
Yep.
just thought that the money to make briefcase was out till getting tipped him off. R-Truth
Yeah.
is one of those
Oh.
guys that you just gotta love.
Yeah,
You just
well,
gotta
yeah,
love.
I love it. I love it. Little Jimmy. I love little Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Listen. So history was made last night also because RK Bro wins. Beats the Usos, and I'm going to get into this here. We're going to open our next segment with the final match of the night, but I want to finish off by saying this with Randy Orton. I posted this on TikTok. Roman Reigns, as of Sunday, has now hold the single record of the most matches competed at pay-per-views.
You mean Randy Orton?
This wasn't Randy Orton. Who did I say?
You said Roman Reigns.
Funny me. Maybe it'll be. Listen, it may be Roman Reigns one day, but Randy Orton holds the record right now for um, the most pay-per-views competed. I don't know. I actually don't know the number to it. But yeah, I don't. But he's competed in more pay-per-views than anybody else. I mean, it kind of just shows for the longevity. I mean, he's been in the WWE for almost 20 years now, and you know, he's still doing it. I mean, I know he's
Yeah.
starting. He's going to look at taking the back seat now, but I mean, I love what Randy Orton's been able to provide for the years making. It was ironic, and I was a little disappointed because at the same time, if he had a match last night on Raw, then he would have broke the record for the most matches on Raw, which I think at this point in time, you're not going to see anybody else break that record. So, I know he's going to have a match on Raw. I just thought it would have been nice to see it back to back.
Yeah.
Breaking records and holding it alone, getting it in, getting it out of the way with. But
Yeah.
I mean, when do you? I don't know when you think about wanting to do that, but
I
I'm
mean,
interested.
the thing is though is like if you grew up like I did watching Randy Orton starting as a man who was on quote unquote the breaking news with Randy when he had that arm sling to becoming a young
I mean, he
boy
was
winning.
just a baby. Yeah, I mean, watching him, he
Yeah.
was just literally a baby coming into the business. And, I loved Randy Orton. I mean, he was learning his way through. I remember when he first broke in, obviously with Evolution, yeah, he broke his elbow, got him out of action. I remember what I really started taking a grasp on to Randy was the feud he had with Undertaker on SmackDown. And what
Oh.
I loved about that so the most, that 1 year worth of work shows his entire career because from being a kid not caring in the world, taking his father's name or being an Orton, and then coming, because I remember the story being told, he never showed up to the WrestleMania rehearsal. He winged that first WrestleMania match, and then he spends the whole year with the Undertaker in a feud. Then I
Yeah.
mean, the Undertaker was already established. He could have said, "Hey, listen, you didn't come to rehearsal. I don't want to work with you now." But he took this kid and he molded him over that year, and he grew up in that year and took a more appreciation. And that's kind of his, signature over the year. He's grown up over the
Yeah.
year and he's matured, and now look where he's at. I thought it was really funny though. Last statement though, last night on Raw. I don't know if you actually watched it, but at the beginning, um, Randy Orton tells Matt Riddle, "Hey, I want you to be more like me," and he dresses like him, wearing the mustache, the
The
goatee beard,
tights. The tights. Oh my.
high tie, the vest. He comes out in a little singlet. I mean, the boots.
That
The only
was
thing he
great.
forgot was the knee pads. He taped his wrist and everything. He wore boots. First time I've seen Riddle wear boots, or was it his feet taped, something like that. But that was just so funny, so interesting to watch.
Oh yeah.
I and then what? Matt Riddle hits the RKO on Dolph Ziggler, and then what's Matt Riddle's finisher?
I forgot what it's called, but Randy Orton hit his finisher on
Right.
Roode, I believe, and it was just
Yeah.
incredible. And I do want to point something before we head to the break is that, and no pun intended, but Randy Orton was just building his own legacy, and it's always amazing to see what type of career he has. He has a Hall of Fame worthy career now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So when we come back, I want to talk about the Roman Reigns and Big E's match. We're going to get into AEW hour number 2. We're taking right up to noontime. Let's get right into it. You guys stay tuned on the J&J Talk Show.
can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. Oh, I can't let them take my soul. Nah, 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 no. See, we was cool right before it hit the fence. But he hit the fan when I got him.
Alrighty, everyone, taking you into hour number 2. Don't forget, WrestleMania tickets are on sale. WrestleMania 38, April 2nd and April 3rd at AT&T Stadium. If you guys want your tickets, all the package plan deals are available at SeatGeek. Head on over to SeatGeek.com and purchase your WrestleMania tickets. Also, Day 1 pay-per-view coming up January 1st, 2021. That will be Saturday, the first day of the year. Jake, are you ready for the new year? Yes, pay-per-view is going to be the Saturday, January 1st, 2021. Are you ready for the new year? Or 22,
well,
21, 22, 49? Height.
It's Folks, it's a good thing he's got me. But no, I'm ready for a new year. I believe it's going to be a great year for all of us. And, right now, just spend every chance while we get with 2021. 2021 has been an incredible year. Made some breakthroughs. So I'm really excited to see how 2022 goes for not only just for me, but to all of our viewers, to our listeners out there.
Yeah, definitely. So, listen, it's been a much better year. I knew this was a dream of mine to do a talk show, to do a podcast such as this. Hopefully, it just
Yeah.
grows as over time. But to be able to actually for you, for Trey, for Justin, to all sit there and support and be a part of this and take it. And it's one big family. That's what it is. And I know we've only been doing it for 3 months, but
Mhm.
I've learned the system. I think we're working through the kinks. We're all learning this together for the first time. We're learning
Oh,
to
yeah.
promote. We're learning to have this conversation. We've learned the bad things, the copyright issues, a couple of weeks ago. But we're all adjusting, and we're going to make our show better. That's what makes our show even more incredible.
Yeah, and real quick, I do want to send a shout out to all my buddies that have helped me learn a lot of stuff because before I started doing podcasts with you guys, I started doing racing leagues for PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
for Thunder Valley Racing League and Hennessy Performance League. So I definitely want to send a shout out for those guys who helped me gotten better, when it comes to being on podcasts or broadcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would honestly just talk to myself. I would put on my own show to myself, driving to work or what. Not, but I mean, and that's how I learned. I would just listen to the radio. I would follow the people I enjoy listening to, and I would just give my thoughts and my takes on this situation, on these situations, and now making that more into reality. And did not tell you, I would not be able to tell you how much homework it takes to learn and to be able to put on the show and to be able to talk and be a host or a co-host, whatever you want to be. So, you, Trey, Justin, you're all doing homework and learning and, giving opinions
Oh yeah.
just to produce the show.
And I do want to say this though, and before we get to the final segment between Roman Reigns and Big E, is that I love how much that we've grown. I've seen people on TikTok who is liking what we've been seeing. I've had a lot of people around my home state who is enjoying what we've been doing. So it's great that we're starting to grow more. And yet I'm hoping you
Yeah.
guys enjoy the ride that we're in because it's been like maybe 2 or 3 weeks for me, but I'm already enjoying it as it is.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, I thank the people who are supporting us on these social media accounts and on YouTube, leaving us down a comment, joining us, letting us know how we're doing on Spotify, on Facebook, on YouTube, chat us up. What can we do to make our show a better product? And that's what at the end of the day, that's all I care about is making sure that the people who listen to this on the other end are satisfied and are interested and invested into listening to what we have to say about wrestling. But listen, I'm not no Bully Ray. I'm not no Vince McMahon. I don't have the background history on it. All we are is just a couple of guys that love sports and wants to talk about it with everyone here.
Easily, yeah, I
So
agree.
before we get down into it, I would like to also mention on Thursday we will have another episode when we involving the NFL picks. So get your picks in. I will be posting them up on Facebook later on today. All right, we're taking you into the new time hour, leads you into the main event of Survivor Series. Okay, Big E,
Yep.
Roman Reigns. I'm gonna be honest with you when it came down to my opinion. When it came down to Survivor Series, because I mean, it was a great match, but the match didn't start until after 11 o'clock p.m. And when you are on the East Coast, you're kind of like there was a lot of commercial breaks, and I mean the commercial breaks that took almost 5, maybe 10 minutes between matches, and I'm like, come on. Let's get through the action. I thought this was supposed to be done by 11. And now
Yeah,
you're like, I'm kind of, it's going into my night. I think the proper term was lackluster. There was
I
a
would
lot of
definitely say that. Yeah.
lackluster, and I thought that some people were out of it. Listen, the kickoff show was at 7, and just imagine if you got out there. So the kickoff show at 7, 8, 9, 10 didn't end until 11:30. Once it did end, they rushed it to end. because they were quickly to say goodbye to everyone. Just imagine people who were there at the event. You got there
Yeah.
what 5, 4 o'clock. I mean, it's just for me. It wasn't. It was a lot longer than anticipated. A lot
Yeah,
more
I mean,
commercials than anticipated too.
I feel like the only type of pay per view that can handle for like 11 to 11:30 stuff like that would be WrestleMania. Survivor Series, this is supposed to be like what, maybe a 3 hour show. That is not really the case. I feel like you mentioned it, for people who are on the East Coast, it's difficult. Some people have to get up and get ready to go to work in the morning. We don't have time to be able to stay up till like 11 to 11:30 just to watch the main event. And I feel like WWE needs to stop doing is wasting time on commercials. I understand you have sponsors, don't get me wrong, but there's plenty of other ways to be able to show off your sponsorship instead of just 5 to 10 minutes per commercial. And usually, in between
Well,
matches shouldn't even take that long, really and truly.
Well, you had that was an interesting fact because you had the Pizza Hut commercial and promotion during the match, during the 25-man battle royal. I don't understand why you can't find a way to get Cricket Wireless in there. Maybe take out Austin Theory should take out a phone from Cricket Wireless and post it up and take a selfie.
Considering that all he's been doing is taking selfies, might as well,
Yeah.
might as well.
But listen, I mean, this wasn't a bad match. I think, like I said, what got me out of it was because it was lacklusting, because there wasn't nothing much really going on. Listen, Roman wins, beats Big E. Not that bad of a match. It was a pretty good match, actually. But I think throughout the night you teased about Brock or The Rock appearing. The fact they didn't, if Brock had the egg, I would have been fine with that. I was burnt out. It was getting late. But I mean, it was. I like the perform. I mean, it was a good performance overall in general.
Yeah, the way I feel about it, and this was something I was really surprised about. You had both Big E and the New Day, considering the Roman's been doing to King Woods and Kofi. I was surprised that both the New Day or the Usos come out in this match. This was a clean pinfall for Roman Reigns that showed that he was the
Yeah.
better champion out of the two, and yet. Honestly, I really like Roman Reigns and Big E right now because Big E has developed himself to become a champion. He's got a chance to go do whatever he wants with ESPN and college football and all that. But he also got to look at this way: the big dog, Roman Reigns. He has developed himself to be one of the most incredible heels right now in WWE. And this was about time for Roman to be able to do something like this. So I can honestly say I love both guys, but Roman Reigns, I knew he was going to win it. I knew he was.
Well, I mean, I don't. For me,
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this. I would have had maybe one of the two biggest. I mean, the show was pretty much promoted on Big E, Roman, and Becky and Charlotte. And I mean, I think a lot of people were anticipating a interference out of one or the other.
Yeah.
So
It was
the
mostly in
fact
the
we
main
didn't
event,
get
though.
that, I mean, I would have liked. I mean, I guess Kofi Kingston's out for a little bit, but I would have liked to see the Usos and the New Day get involved and kind of kind of give us a little bit of a 6-man tag type thing. But where maybe the Usos try to come out, but then the New Day comes out and stops them, and then Roman Reigns can still win. But I mean. But they kept it clean. I feel like the only thing that does for me, yeah, you put over. I mean, nothing really changes, and instead of now that Roman's better than Big E.
Yeah.
Compared
We've seen.
to Becky and Charlotte, we don't know who's better with each other because Becky won with a roll up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was waiting for because this is the way I feel about this. I anticipated some sort of heel tag between Roman Reigns. I figured Paul Heyman would have got involved and say, "Hey, I'm going to interfere in this match. I'm going to distract the referee, grab the title, hit Big E with
Didn't he
it."
not do that for a little bit? I mean, he did a little bit.
He did for a little bit, but in the main point of the match, he didn't really get involved. It was just like
But
little
see,
kinks that Paul Heyman
Paul
did.
Heyman for me, I mean, the last time I really saw him get that involved was back in ECW days, or back when he had hair, or back
Back
when
when
he had
that
a
little
ponytail.
ponytail.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise, I'd never really seen him as a manager to get involved now, especially when he returned back in 2010. He's always been a verbal, he's like one of those wrestling. If you ever wrestled in high school, you know, collegiate wrestling where you had your coach on the side of the mat and then you had to wrestle inside and that coach is giving you, hey, do the, do the crossface or do the fireman's carry and all that stuff, telling you what to do. Look out for this, look out for that, stay
Yeah.
up, build your base. So I kind of feel like that's what Paul Heyman takes a role on the side of the ring. Isn't bad, but I don't see him getting involved like that as much. He doesn't climb up
No.
to the top, to the ring anymore to, distract the referee. He may try to go coach up like he coached up Roman Reigns, throughout, when he rolled out of the ring to regather himself. He
Mhm.
basically told, he kept on telling him that he was better and all this stuff. So, you know, it's interesting because he for some reason, ever since Brock Lesnar's return, it seems like every interview, Paul Heyman has to use the word Brock Lesnar. Well, he's always comparing Roman Reigns now. Ever since Brock Lesnar's return, Paul has been promoting and been comparing Roman Reigns to Brock Lesnar.
Honestly, this is just the way I feel about it, and I know you might disagree with me on this. I think it's ridiculous because there's a lot of difference between. I mean, yes, they're both built. I mean, Brock's built bigger than Roman
Right.
Reigns, but the thing is, though, it is the achievements that both men has done. It is the accomplishments that both men have done in WWE. I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, yes, I think they were both Royal Rumble winners at the time. I don't think Reigns has won it, but that was the only achievement that has not been done. Lesnar. I don't even think Lesnar's even won a mid card championship, but yet Reigns has. He's won both the Intercontinental and the U.S. Championship. So the fact that there's a huge difference in Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, there's no similarity towards them unless if it's like the style of wrestling that they've been doing.
Yeah, you know what? One thing I'm not disagreeing with you on that one, but here I say I think Paul Heyman has been doing great promoting
I agree.
because if Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar is set to do battle back or coming up at WrestleMania, if that's the case, then Paul Heyman has been sneaking in hints throughout the shows, throughout his interviews. And I mean, and here's the other thing: if Paul Heyman's to go against Roman Reigns and backstab him to be on Brock's side, he's been showing hints now with the words and always comparing him to Brock Lesnar.
The way I feel about it is like with Paul Heyman and yet this I've always been a fan of Paul Heyman because let me tell you why. Paul Heyman, he's just a genius because he knows what the product wants. He knows what the people wants. And for me, growing up, I've always loved Paul Heyman because he was always a guy that isn't afraid to tell you how he felt. I feel like if Paul Heyman wasn't doing my tribal chief type of stuff, then yeah, he would be
Yeah.
doing a lot of different stuff. He'd be hyping up for both Roman and for both Brock. I'm not a
Oh
fan of
yeah.
this whole
Well,
my
but that's
tribal
what he's
chief
doing though.
thing, but
By
but
saying by every interview, like he had an interview on Sunday, he used the words Brock Lesnar. He compared Roman Reigns again with Brock Lesnar, and it just seems like each and every week he kind of gives you a little bit of, hey, if I was a Brock Lesnar guy, manager, this is what I would say.
yeah.
Uh, and he's starting to mix those two things, which could only lead to me Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns down the road, as well as a potential. And I can only see Paul Heyman backstabbing at the end of the day and choosing Brock Lesnar.
Either way, though, anytime when it comes to Paul Heyman, to me, it's always entertaining. So I don't really know what to expect later on between
I love it.
Lesnar, Reigns, and Heyman, Reigns, and Lesnar. At the end of the day, though, it's going to come down to it. And yet, I think that this is the way I feel about it. If you're like a longtime fan of the product, you're always used to Paul Heyman coming out with Brock Lesnar because that was always his guy. And whenever
Right.
they had this whole alliance last year at the Thunderdome, I was so confused by it because, like, if you remember, during our past meetings, Lesnar was always with Heyman, and now you want to stick with the enemy, and I'm like, no, 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 like you're
It's
supposed
what's
to be
good for. Hey,
Lesnar's
listen,
boy.
what's that cliche saying? You keep your friends, close and keep your enemies closer type thing.
Yeah,
I mean, this is all just great business though, because if you're trying to build Roman Reigns as a heel, Paul Heyman is that ultimate heel, and he could get you over. I mean, I think also at that point that it was a way to get Roman Reigns as that heel character that you wanted. And it's clicked. I mean, it's worked. I don't
yeah,
think it's been the cleanest, but it's worked. But I mean, obviously, I feel like Paul Heyman is still a Brock Lesnar guy, and
yeah,
overall, though, he's going to go back to Brock Lesnar.
yeah. I
So,
agree.
but all right, listen, the moment has waited for you. I know you're excited. Coming up next, we got AEW, the 3 match cards for the AEW
Mhm.
Thanksgiving special tomorrow night. So sit
I'm
tight.
ready.
We'll be back. You're ready. I'm ready. Let's get back into it as soon as possible.
See you guys in a few.
I got wasted off a dry land. Somebody tell me what the hell is going on. And it hit me like an anvil. I must have known you would do this right from the start. In a treasure of this pleasure, I was defined to see when it fell apart. I got wasted off a dry land, and I lost my judgment the moment I met you. I keep on falling down. I keep on running around. Please tell me, what are you looking for? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So you're running to an alley. A narrow pierced me right through the heart. So I went down by the river and I tried to drown you. 'Cause it's all I can do. I keep on falling down. I keep on running around. Please tell me, what are you looking for? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I got wasted off a dry land. Somebody tell me what the hell is going on. And it hit me like an anvil. I must have known you would do this right from the start. I don't know. I don't know.
Alrighty, AEW Dynamite tomorrow, November 24th, and it's a
Yep.
Thanksgiving special. Everybody, we have ourselves 3 key matches. Let me go over the matches. I'll bring Jake right back into things, into the swing of things. Kicking off, we have Bryan Danielson taking off Colt Cabana. Number 2, we got CM Punk taking on QT Marshall, and then we got a TBS Tournament Championship semifinals. I don't even know that woman's match. No, there was 4 matches promoted.
I think
There was a who was it? Was
I
it
think-
Velvet Sky?
no. It was it was Jamie Hayter against Thunder Rosa. I believe that is tomorrow's match for the TBS Women's Tournament Championship. So I think it's
Oh, wait, hold on. Who was it?
It was Thunder Rosa against Jamie Hayter. I think they promoted last
Okay.
Wednesday on Dynamite. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think we're
I
also
wrote
be
that
seeing.
down.
Yeah, I'll say. I think later on we will be seeing a match for the first time ever. Chris Statlander against Ruby Soho. So that's gonna be a very
Okay.
interesting one as well.
Because when I wrote that down, I ended up wrote down the 8-man tag match because the Lucha Bros, Pac, and Cody Rhodes will take on Andrade, Malachi Black, and FTR also. So I didn't write down the women's match. So hey,
Y'all good?
epic card match. You're an AEW geek, I would presume. I'm still more in the
Yep.
WWE. Go. What do you want? What's going on here?
Well, let's go ahead and talk about we're in the Hangman Page era because after a full year, Hangman Page defeated Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship, and then last Wednesday to start the show in his home state of Virginia, it was Hangman and Page celebrating with the Dark Order, but out comes Bryan Danielson. Now I want to ask you this, and yet the fans, you can go ahead and answer this, but yet to you. Do you ever think Bryan Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan, whatever it is you want to call him, would ever turn heel?
Yes.
Well, that was the case because, and out of nowhere, he talked about it. He said Hangman Page was wearing cowboy boots, a leather jacket, blue jeans, all that. He wasn't ready to wrestle. Bryan Danielson was. He said that whenever I won the world title at WrestleMania, I competed the very next night, saying
Well,
that
I mean,
Bryan
and
Danielson.
that's the thing because Bryan Danielson, he won. I mean, he's been thriving to get back a championship match. So something that he has not gotten since WWE. And
Yeah,
he finally earns his opportunity. And he wants, while you have that streak going, he just got done winning a month worth of matches in Epic Showdown. Keep that hot streak going. You don't want any time period wasting. When you get a chance to keep on competing and keep
hmm
on winning, you want
yeah,
to keep that going. So for Bryan Danielson, I wouldn't see why he didn't want to compete the next night because he's on a hot streak. Now, listen, I'll tell you
yeah.
this about Adam Page.
hmm
He just beat Kenny Omega. He's going to be
Yep.
portrayed as a babyface, a huge babyface for the company. He's probably going to hold the title for such time. And in this match, which you're building up probably to the next pay-per-view or for the first episode of TBS, you're
hmm
looking to have a babyface and a heel. Now,
Yeah.
let's granted when Bryan Danielson had the heel turn with the whole go green back with the WWE, that wasn't the
Yeah.
greatest heel turn I've seen. But I could see Bryan Danielson be a heel.
Yeah. Well, the way that he did his heel turn was, in a way, I didn't really expect it. He didn't attack someone. He pretty much just was talking trash towards Hangman Page and the Dark Order. And yet he wanted to compete against Hangman that night. He said, let's do it tonight, but yet he's in cowboy boots. So yet, that goes to show what type of champion he is. I like that because you don't have to attack someone just to be a heel. The things you say, and Bryan Danielson, he may not be the best at microphone, but yet that was one I can easily say one of my favorites right now. And then he proceeds to take on Evil Uno in the first match of the show. And he said, we're going to be at Chicago next week. And I know someone from the Dark Order that's from Chicago, a.k.a. Cole Cabana. And he said I would kick his head in. I like that. Like that. Keep that momentum. He's going up against each member of the Dark Order one by one until he gets to Hangman Page. And I believe this might be a chance for that match to be on the first episode of the TBS Dynamite era. I don't know, but yet it could be the case. And I'm all in for it because it goes to show, hey, it gives them time to develop. It gives them time to be able to make the promo packages. It gives a chance for a huge match because this is the first time ever match we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time ever match, and the way that they're doing it is beautiful, beautiful.
Well, and you talk
And
about the first. Episode of on TBS coming up here at the beginning of the year for AEW Dynamite.
yeah,
You have the finals. You have the TBS Tournament Championship finals match, right? For the women's division, the new TBS championship match that's coming to a close, right? That's going to be
yeah,
crowned on the first episode. So, what other way? I know you got a pay per view coming up in February, but you still have plenty of time after the first week of January and having this title match to make something else happen. But like
yeah,
you said, I agree with you. It gives time it basically gives time for Hangman to keep the title, to build that baby face, but it also builds time for Bryan Danielson to turn that heel and take out every single opponent. It just keeps him going. Now, I would like to see Adam Page have a few matches in between then, but
I think
I
we
mean,
will.
I don't
I think we
know.
will. To me, I think we will. I mean, there's going to be like some guy. I mean, personally, I would love to see Adam Cole, baby, taking on him, but I don't think that's the case because he's feuding with Christian Cage and the
Mhm.
Jurassic Express. But yeah, there'll be somebody. I mean, it ain't going to be no big name against
I
Hangman.
mean,
He'll
what
probably
about
take on.
can Hangman take on Miro? I mean, after Miro lost, there's really nothing right now for him. He could still
Yeah,
have a match. Just maybe hell, he have a I
I would
won't say a
love. I
title
would
match, but
love
have a
that.
match.
I would
Just
love that.
a warm up match, right?
I mean, the thing is, though, I would love to see Paige taking on Miro because, I mean, there's many different ways that you could put Miro involved with Hangman out of Page. Daniel says that I bet you can't beat the biggest, the strongest man in AEW right now, and I so happen to defeat him at Full Gear. That'd be Miro. So a Hangman Page against Miro match that would definitely be a good one. That'll be interesting between both styles. I mean, you got a ruthless aggression between Miro and Hangman, who's
Yeah.
a balanced
Even if
wrestler, so
there's
I
no winner,
easily.
maybe Brian Danielson gets involved. I mean, there doesn't have to be a winner. But between now and the beginning of in this match, I would like to see Hangman have a few matches. But on the other part for Brian Danielson, listen, he's up there in age.
Yep.
He's not getting any younger. He has to build himself, and he wants to keep in contact. I mean, listen, this is a great match coming up with Colt Cabana that he may not never have again. And you think about dream matches for AEW, like I said, Brian Danielson. I don't know how much time he has left in the ring. He wants to finish every. He wants to milk every last match out of him.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel
And
like go ahead.
this is another match for that. This is a great match for that. And you just keep it like I said. And then on top of that, keep it going. You're winning. Keep the streak going, leading up to your championship match.
And I do want to stand corrected with my history is that this isn't the first time both Cabana and Danielson has faced each other before. If you remember the
No, but this is
2009 Ring of Honor days, that's when they
you're
started
right.
doing their stuff.
But this is the first time that the people,
Yeah,
and one, it's on national television. TNT is viewed everywhere compared to Ring
yeah,
of Honor is not viewed everywhere. I
yeah,
couldn't watch that. So that's one. Two, this is 10 years ago. Their careers have sparked in so many different levels, and these two individuals have went off into their own path. Now they're coming back to collide. You don't have to have a storyline with it. It's going to be a great match. Plus, it's in Chicago, which leads up, fills the card with Colt Cabana being home from Chicago. And then also you got CM Punk from Chicago, and he's having his own match with QT Marshall.
I find it a coincidence that the fact that hey, we're going to Chicago tomorrow night, and yet
It
for
felt
the
like we are
best
just in
way.
Chicago last week.
I'll tell you one thing though, and this is something I love about Chicago. If you guys have not seen a Bulls game or even a wrestling show from Chicago, Chicago has one of the best fans in America because Chicago is so passionate. Whether if it's for the Bears, whether if it's for the Bulls, or for anything, Chicago is so passionate. And yet, whenever CM Punk made his return to wrestling, where was it at? Chicago, Illinois, earlier or later on this year, and that was something beautiful because that's how passionate the fans are. So I expect the crowd to be a huge favor tomorrow, whether if it's in Cabana's match or if it comes to CM Punk's match. I do want to get my thoughts on CM Punk's match. He's feuding with MJF now, and why QT Marshall? I guess just to give him another match on Dynamite because during the last match he had was against Bobby Fish. I think it's going to be a very. I mean, Punk's going to win this, but I just don't see the point of it, in my opinion.
You know what you do? This is that test to QT Marshall. If you could hold yourself and carry and help, tell this story with CM Punk,
Yeah,
you may have a potential future shot at Dynamite and up into some of the middle card matches because QT Marshall, if I'm not mistaken, he's on Rampage and he's on
yeah.
Dark. So it's kind of that, hey, here's the test. CM Punk is good to work with. You can work with him, go work with them. And if you
Yeah.
can excel and get the fans behind that, whatever we want to do, then maybe we will keep you open for an opportunity at a storyline later down the road for Dynamite. That's the way
I
I
mean,
see it. I mean, it's just an opportunity. I don't mean to interrupt with you, but we talked about this, and I saw this. It feels like AEW is starting to separate their talent a little bit. You have all your guys on Dynamite and on Rampage, and then you have a lot of your other guys are there still developing, right? On
Yeah,
Dark, right? The
yeah.
the pre-shows or the stuff that you see on YouTube. So this is a chance for QT Marshall to say, "Hey, I'm ready to do things in the ring. I could do it at your standards, at your level, and hopefully this leads to something more."
I mean, the thing is, though, and this is the way I feel about it with my history, is that the last time we saw QT Marshall being something big besides taking on Paul White was whenever he took on Cody Rhodes, whenever he turned heel and had his own little faction with Aaron Slow and I forgot the other guy's name, but anyways, it was whenever he took on Cody Rhodes at Blood and Guts, the Blood and Guts AEW show, and then you mentioned it, he was on either Elevation or Dark. So the fact is that we get a chance to see QT Marshall. He's going to have to prove that not only towards himself and to his little group, but the fans say, "Hey, I can still hang with guys like CM Punk and yet be able to make a huge statement for him." How is it going to be for tomorrow night? I feel like his cronies are going to get involved, but it doesn't matter. I feel like Punk's going to end up winning the match regardless.
Yeah, I mean, but regardless if you win or lose, the stuff that you put, the product you can still put inside the ring. Because listen, just because you lose doesn't mean that
Yeah,
you can't put out a good product, and doesn't mean you can't get over.
yeah,
It's not about win or losses anymore. It's about what you could do with the fans. And if you
yeah,
could get the fans to imbibe with you, and you could prove that, and CM Punk goes backstage match and says, "Hey, yeah, QT, he could work with some of us. Let's
yeah.
book him." Then he's going to get that push. But it's a chance to now work with a guy like CM Punk, who right now I feel or it plays a decision in who's up in the Dynamite and Rampage.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, CM Punk. I mean, he's been working a lot with like different other guys. I mean, talent that you wouldn't expect him to see. Obviously, it was
Right.
Darby Allin. Then you go to Bobby Fish, which that was a great one. And then his match at Full Gear. And I'm gonna tell you this now: if you have not watched his match against Eddie Kingston at Full Gear, you guys missed out on something incredible. It was a ruthless, it was
Yep.
aggressive brawlers type style match, and Eddie Kingston showed that he belongs to the big stage against CM Punk. That was easily one of my favorite CM Punk matches ever since he joined AEW, and it was a classic in my opinion.
Right. We also got the 8-man tag match.
8-man tag match. Now, I do want to give my thoughts on this. I love the 8-man tag of FTR along with Malachi Black and Andrade because let me tell you why. Because this is the first time you're seeing FTR outside of the Pinnacle working with guys like Andrade and Malachi. Did I ever expect Malachi and Andrade to be a tag team? No, I don't think any of us did.
No.
But it goes to show that hey, I had this big rich man against a guy who is the
But you know what? Their
a different
friendship has
style.
gone back since NXT days, though, because Zelina Vega is currently in a relationship with Malachi Black, and
Yeah,
Andrade and Zelina used to be, Zelina used to be the manager of Andrade, so they have a friendship connection. So
but with this 8-man tag team match, obviously you're gonna have the tag team champions involved with the Lucha Brothers,
mhm.
and I don't know if it's just me, but when I see Pac and Cody together, it reminds me of the whole Neville and Stardust thing, if you remember. But
Yeah,
it's now a really
yeah.
different towards perspective. But I feel
Well,
like
it
with
is
this
a
whole
Neville
8-man,
and Stardust. It
it's
is
literally
Neville,
what it
but
feels
they've
like.
grown up. That's the thing. They've grown up. That's the difference.
They developed in their own way, but yet if I had to pick my picks on this 8-man tag team match, no offense to the baby faces, but I feel like this is a chance for FTR and Andrade and Malachi to be able to make a
And
huge
for this
statement. So
to
I'm gonna have
be
to
a
go.
holiday special and you're going with the heels on this one, that's pretty
Yes,
epic. We don't
yes.
see that often in wrestling to have heels
Anything.
get put over on holidays.
Plus, do you really want? The crowd really doesn't like Cody Rhodes right now as a babyface. I've been waiting to see a heel turn because the last time we seen heel Cody
You're not going to
Rhodes.
see it. I'm sorry. I
I
don't think you're
know, I
going to see
know, I
it.
know, but hold on, hear me out. Hear me out though. The last time we saw heel Cody Rhodes was whenever he was a part of the Bullet Club, and ever since then, it's like he's been this good guy, and everyone wants to see you turn heel. Let's see this heel Cody attacking Arn Anderson, attacking the American Nightmare crew. I don't think it's going to happen like you mentioned, but at least I can say is at some point Cody's going to have to turn heel.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a pretty good show tomorrow night. I'm
Easily.
excited. I know you're excited. Hey, listen, we got to take one more break, but I know you want to talk about Kenny Omega coming back. We'll bring that up, and then we're kind of just going to hang around until the 2 o'clock hour. We're taking you right till noon. Stay tuned. You listen to the J&J Talk Show.
Alrighty.
I'ma need safety. Tell her I can't snake me. Ray gun off safety. My girl so tasty. Tell her it's your world. She want the two-tone spaceship. Blow smoke screen daily, so the stress don't phase me. I'm going. I keep it factual. I'm on sabbatical.
Local Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky residents, we'd like to invite you guys out to NWF this Saturday. Me and Trey will be there, but this Saturday night, Monster Abyss will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, NWF Hall of Fame, November 27th in Covington, Kentucky. For more information, check out nwfwrestling.com. Get your tickets now. We're taking you guys to noon, 12 o'clock hour here. And we're back with Jacob. Jacob. Hey. Hold on. There we go. Go ahead. You know what? Listen. So AEW is tomorrow night. We got some more news about Kenny Omega. And I know you know a little bit more about this. I heard a little bit, but what's going on?
All right. So after Kenny Omega lost the AEW World Championship to Hangman Adam Page, believe it or not, Kenny Omega has been wrestling for the past 6-7 months injured. He's done this. He's been injured for quite some time, and so AAA has announced that Kenny Omega has vacated the AAA Mega Crown Championship due to injury. And so what they're going to be doing is they're going to be doing a six-man match to determine who's going to be crowned the new AAA Mega Championship. Obviously, we've seen Kenny Omega earlier this year as a belt collector, collecting both the Impact World Championship, the AEW World Title, and of course the AAA. So AAA, if you guys have never heard about it, it is down in Mexico, and Kenny has been going there for quite some time, defending the title. I think he took on Ray Phoenix, I believe, and he took on in some incredible matches. He took on Andrade as well. So the fact is that he vacated the championship was much needed for Omega because he has been injured for quite some time. And as far as Kenny Omega, we probably won't see him back until February, is what I've been told.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's been dealing with some shoulder injuries. You could see him out there on those chiropractic YouTube channels. He's trying to get himself better. He's doing whatever he can, and that's just it's unfortunate. But at least he was able to drop the title to Hangman Adam Page, and be able to pull through the match. I mean, I think one of the stories said that at one point he couldn't lift his arm above his head, and he still put out a good enough match over there. But you know what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if there's one thing I don't think people realized how good Kenny Omega was the fact that this man would wrestle daily, injured. I mean, how many chances? Because it shows the heart, it shows the athleticism, and yet I do want to say this to Kenny Omega, if he's listening or watching, is that thank him for everything he's done for all of us, especially being a champion, being a heel. Oh, yeah, get well soon for sure. On behalf of all of us in the JJ Talk Show, wishing the cleaner, wishing the man who has won many different championships and many different promotions feel better. We'll see him back hopefully in February.
Kenny, if Kenny's watching, if anyone that knows that's watching this or listens to this and could send a message out to Kenny, get real soon, but don't rush to get back. I'd rather have you be 100% than try to rush back in February and then re-injure yourself. So if it's going to take you longer, listen, AEW is going to be perfectly fine without you, man. Get well.
Yeah.
Because when you come back, we want you back with some incredible matches. But this is also just another test of time. This is what wrestling does for you, and this is, he's not no 26-year-old athlete anymore, and this is not his first rodeo. I think that your return will be much better. Maybe put Brian. I don't know. Maybe come back. You're going to come back probably challenging a champion.
I mean, the way I feel about it is that Kenny Omega, he is just so incredible at what he does, and you can love him, you can hate him. I love Kenny Omega. I started liking him when I first got into New Japan, when he first joined the Bullet Club. Trey, he's not a fan of Kenny Omega, and I understand that. But at the same time, as though that when he comes back, the crowd, myself, everyone is going to be hyped to see Kenny Omega, the man who is known with the one-winged angel or the V-triggers.
You don't have to be a fan of Kenny Omega, though. That's the thing. You can hate the guy, but when he comes back, you're going to watch him. You know that damn straight. He's just like CM Punk. There's people who like him. There's people who don't like him. It doesn't matter whether you're a babyface or you're a heel. When he comes back, when he's ready to come back, people are going to tune in and watch him. Just like people tune in to watch CM Punk, just like people tune in to watch Roman Reigns, just like people tune in to watch Charlotte Flair. People are going to tune in, regardless if they like you or not, because that is product and that is what the business is all about. You do something right when you're that big of a heel. Just like I like to really collect those stories, just like JBL. He was such a heel, but you want to tune in to see who's the next guy to take over. Or when what will he do next? What can he? How can he grow his heel character? So Kenny Omega, he will. If you like him, you hate him, you will watch him because he is going to main event AEW again.
And real quick, before we move on to whatever's next, I do want to tell you this though, Kenny Omega has had one of my favorite AEW title runs. He took on Moxley. He went on, took on Pac and Orange Cassidy in triple threat. Then goes to Impact to take on Rich Swann for the title versus title. And then the man takes on Bryan Danielson. The man has been so incredible. And of course, to end it off against Hangman Adam Page, the person that he knows more than any other person, and former tag team partners. And that was just
Right.
something beautiful. Even though it wasn't, he lost at the same time, though, his title run, it was probably one of my favorites as a heel. He was an incredible heel to be able to hold the belt to say, hey, this is my AEW World Championship. Been a belt collector out of all of this. So, yeah, if you have not got a chance to take a look at any Omega Championship matches, you need to watch highlights of it on YouTube, whatever. Just check out how incredible he was in the ring. That's the one thing that I've always fell in love with, was that his moveset, his aggressiveness, and that he wasn't afraid to throw them V triggers. If you get hit by a V
Right.
trigger, you're done. You're straight up done.
Well, I mean, this is the first realistic time, also, and we'll finish off with this in this segment. But this was the first realistic thing that the first time people were able to jump promotion to promotion and compete in other brands. You don't see that quite often, and you especially don't see it as a caliber like Kenny Omega is, and for what he did with holding those 3 titles. So he really did something significant this year. Probably one of the biggest outbreak superstars of the year, and I know we'll get into that a little later, in a
Hands
couple
down.
weeks. But he's definitely opened and brought some new faces into the professional wrestling industry. So
Yeah.
listen, I'll talk with Trey more about this on Thursday. But I want your quick thoughts about the Seth Rollins incident on last night.
Seth Rollins.
And for people who didn't know, while after the match, he was headed backstage, and a fan jumps the barricade, runs around, and basically tackles Seth Rollins. Now, Seth Rollins, I will tell you this: Seth Rollins kept it professional. He got off of him, and he allowed security and everyone else to take him out of the arena. Now, he's being charged, and his punishment is going to be to the fullest extent. But I mean, that's, for me, that is unacceptable.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this is like the second time that a fan has jumped Seth Rollins. We've seen, whenever Seth was a champion, a fan randomly came out and then security got him. But I do want to applaud, Seth handled this very, very well. And, he didn't attack him. He might have cussed at him and then, walked back to the locker room. And I do like what he did when the last time he came back out there. He looked around. He played it professionally as a heel. Looked around to see if make sure that nobody was going to attack him, just to play it off. He's cool. But I do want to give credit due for security, for make sure that the man didn't have no weapons around him, because if it would have been a very more bad situation that already is. But if you're a fan, I understand you love the product and you want to be able to go out there and attack the bad guys, but yet you're making yourself look bad, not only on national TV, on the internet. For what this guy did, he was just a complete idiot, in my opinion. So don't jump the barrier and go attack wrestlers, because they are trained professionals for a reason. If they wanted to,
Complete idiot. Stupid. It was the worst thing ever. I mean, listen, there's a reason why the barricade's up. I'm not a. Listen, allow them. I mean, you got to also remember, what has Seth. I mean, are you Bruce Lee? I mean, who do you think you are, being able to go up against someone like Seth Rollins or any wrestler of that factor?
Yeah, well,
because I mean, I don't know if today's era is still the same, but I remember it wasn't too long ago where if a fan jumps the barricade and attacks a wrestler, that wrestler's allowed to do whatever they want to you, and they will not be charged.
I don't really think that is the case. I mean, and plus, this isn't the first time we've seen it this year. I know a fan jumped the guardrail at AEW in Miami, attacked MJF, and then MJF said something, on his promo. So I feel like fans just need to chillax. I mean, they need to relax, because these are trained professionals. I understand you want their autograph or you want a picture with them, but if they're heel, take the difference to the side. I mean, they're entertainers for a reason. I mean, they should not give you that type of hate to where you want to jump the guardrail and attack them. That is making yourself look bad, your family look bad.
Yeah, but this is all professional wrestling. This is how you do it. And sometimes if you got to be a heel, you have to go through the actual levels, the actual extent. And sometimes you're not gonna. Some people are gonna take it personal. But I mean, I also think maybe this was just a stupid prank
Yeah. It was a
or a
bonehead
dare or a
move.
bet.
Bonehead.
Yeah, it was a
Just straight
stupid
up
move.
bonehead
I
move.
guess it's late. I mean, and then when something like this happens, the crowd's on notice because I guess another person got ejected from the arena last night, mouthing off against Sammy and MVP, and I guess in a match after the show. But um, yeah, that's come on. I mean, these guys are coming out here dealing with COVID, dealing with the pandemic. They're trying to entertain you. I know the product hasn't been that greatest, but come on, let's get your shit together. Let's just be a fan. If it's to the point where you want to reach in and grab them and choke them, like they did, stay home. Just stay home. Don't come.
Yeah.
You still got kids watching. This is not the image. Obviously the cameramans did the right thing. Now there's videos up on Facebook. I'm not going to play it here because it takes too much time to get it, but you can
Not only
see
that,
it
but I mean,
on
out of
Facebook.
respect, I'm saying not only that, but out of respect for the company, and like it'd be, in my opinion, it'd be a waste of time to even show that fan on the show because he's not worth it,
Right.
especially after what he did.
Absolutely agree. So, but that's it. Hey, listen, you're in Kentucky for the next week. You're off of
Yeah,
work. You're just chilling, hanging back, spending time with
yeah.
some family. We don't know if you're up for Thanksgiving yet.
Thursday,
We'll find out.
yeah. But I do want to promote something real quick. And I hope it's okay with you, with your permission. So Sunday I do broadcasting for a league called Thunder Valley Racing League, and this Sunday and Monday is our championship races. So if you guys want to tune in, go to facebook.com/Thunder Valley Racing League. You can search us up on YouTube, Thunder Valley Racing League. We have the Cup Championship on Sunday, and we have the Truck Championship on Monday. So it's going to be two back-to-back awesome races. If you want to be able to tune into all that, make sure you guys follow me on TikTok at NerdyJake520. I'll give you guys all the information. And plus, I mean, Thunder Valley Racing League, this is like my racing family. This has like been a family to me. And yeah, I definitely want to give credit to where everyone's due because a couple of days before I left, we had a championship race. And it was incredible. Final 10 laps of the race. We had a 10-lap shootout, 4 championship drivers going for the championship. And it was just incredible. So I do want to send a shout out to Thunder Valley Racing League. Shout out to D Blood, who is my boss, and he's just been doing everything he can. He's got a sponsorship with Nine Line Apparel. If you guys go to ninelineapparel.com, use promo code TVR20 to save 10% off your order. That is ninelineapparel.com. Use promo code TVR20 to save 10% off your order.
Very well said. Well, I'll be checking that out. Send me the links. I'll post it up on Thanksgiving and our show this coming up weekend. We'll be back with you guys on Sunday for another episode of the J&J Talk Show. Hopefully, we'll see, but Jay may not be able to be available. Also, Thanksgiving special. Thanksgiving is a 2-hour special, 10 to noon. Trey says he'll be here. It's going to be hard just to see Trey wake up that damn early because I know he's not up that damn early.
For as long as I've known Trey, he's usually up by like 2 or 3 o'clock. And every time if I call him at 1 o'clock, I do this because I just want to talk to my best friend / my brother. And he'd be like,
Right.
It's 1 o'clock. We're still asleep. Wait till 2 or 3 o'clock. And I'm like, I just want to call my best friend. But real
But
quick,
he's texting
though,
me at 1.
yeah, I'll say he's texting me at 1, but yeah, he isn't up to about like 2. But shout out to Trey, shout out to Courtney. But real quick, I do want to send a shout out to everyone that has been supporting us. You guys have been incredible. You guys have been awesome. Shout out to my friends, my family. Thanksgiving is going to be a great holiday. We have 3 holiday football games. And honestly, this has been a great show. And if you guys have not got a chance to tune in yet, follow us on TikTok, Instagram. If you guys want to listen to us, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Spotify is free. There's nothing wrong with free. So yet, make sure you guys check that out. Justin, I do want to say this on behalf of myself and everyone. You have done a tremendous job. So thank you for giving us the platform that you've given us. It's always been fun. It's been incredible. Thank you to you, Trey, to everyone that has gotten involved. It's been so much fun.
Well, I appreciate it, Jake. That's listen. We're out here to put out best content and be the best of ourselves and give you guys a different view of perspectives here. Thank you guys as well on your end for the support, for the help of the channel. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram. If you want to reach us out, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out our episode on Thursday on the J&J Talk Show, 2 hours from 10 to noon. And until then, listen. On behalf of Jake, everyone here that makes this show happen, I'm Justin. You guys have yourself a wonderful rest of your day.